Indirect Object Pronouns. Los pronombres del complemento indirecto. An indirect object pronoun usually answers the question to whom or for whom an action is being done. An indirect object is almost always a person that is indirectly affected by the action of the verb. Paco gave the book to me. To whom did Paco give the book? To me. This is the indirect object. Paco me dio el libro. What did Paco give? The book. This is the direct object. It is important to distinguish direct objects from indirect objects. The direct object pronouns are going to replace mainly a thing, while the indirect object pronouns are going to replace mainly a person. Indirect object pronouns in Spanish. Me, te, le, nos, les. Notice the many meanings of le and les. The indirect object pronouns me, te, nos, os are used for people, while le and les are used mostly for people and sometimes things. The forms of the indirect object pronouns are identical to the direct object pronouns, except for the third person singular and plural forms, le and les. An indirect object indicates to whom or for whom an action is carried out. An indirect object pronouns can also be used to indicate from whom something is bought, borrowed, or taken away. Le voy a mandar el libro a Carlos. Le voy a comprar el libro a Carlos. Le voy a quitar el libro a Carlos. In Spanish, the to, for, and from relationships are all expressed with an indirect object pronoun and the single preposition a. The verb will clarify whether a represents to, for, or from. Redundancy of the indirect object pronoun. In Spanish sentences, you are going to find that the indirect object pronouns me, te, le, nos, os, les are used along to prepositional forms. And for example, le and les have different meanings. Le is going to be clarified adding the prepositional forms a usted, a él, a ella. Les is clarified using the prepositional forms a ustedes, a ellos, a ellas. While these prepositional forms are used to clarify the meaning of le and les, a mí, a ti, a nosotros, a vosotros are used for emphasis. These are mandatory, while these ones are optional. Mamá le compró un libro a Juan. Le is clarified adding a Juan, or could be also a él. Mamá me compró un libro a mí. A mí is added to this sentence and used only for emphasis. Some might then logically ask, why not just say, voy a mandar el libro a Alfredo? Proper Spanish requires the use of the indirect object pronoun. Le voy a mandar el libro a Alfredo. In this case, for instance, le must co-occur with a Alfredo. Examples. ¿Quién compra la ropa para la familia? Mamá me compra el sombrero. Mamá te compra el pantalón. Mamá le compra los zapatos a Carlos. Mamá le compra el vestido a Betty. Mamá nos compra las camisas. Mamá les compra los pantalones a ellos. Because le and les have different meanings, a Carlos, a Betty, and a ellos is added to these sentences for clarification. In an affirmative statement with one verb, the indirect object pronoun comes before the verb. In a negative statement, the indirect object pronoun will come in between no and the conjugated verb compra. In sentences with two verbs, the indirect object pronoun is placed immediately before the conjugated verb or attached to the infinitive. This is similar to what you did when you use the direct object pronouns. Yo quiero comprar un regalo para Juan. First verb, quiero. Second verb, comprar. Para Juan is going to be replaced with le. There are two options. You can put it before the conjugated verbs. Yo le quiero comprar un regalo. Le could also be attached to the second verb. Yo quiero comprarle un regalo. Juan está comprando una falda para Ana. Para Ana is replaced by le. Juan le está comprando una falda. Or we can attach le to the second verb. Juan está comprándole una falda.